Hi everyone, this is Chandan. Today we are going to see the pattern example, how we can use that for loop and some condition to print that pattern. So it is a kind of exercise to practice that loop. Okay, let's start. So first we are going to print that hologram pattern. So it's a square hologram. So first we need to finalize that approach, how we are going to solve any problems in our programs. So first we need to see like how many numbers are there. So there is a n numbers, n equal to 6. Okay. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 6 star is also here. So ignore that has because it is comment, otherwise it will give that error. Okay, so we need to loop that. First loop should be execute 6 times, and that inner loop should be execute 6 times. So first we need, and there is some conditions to find that how we can print that blank. Okay, so there should be some index like it star will print if only I equal to 0 or n minus 1. So last or first element, so I equal to 0 and to last elements, or j is less than 1, less than 1, and which is so first and last element we need to print, and for the print all the loops we need to give that two condition to apply that. So let's write the program for that. So first we need to execute 6 times a loop for I in range 0 to n. Okay, and for j in range, so here you can see it will execute that. Let's print and how it's. So we when we print that loop, right? So here you can see it is printing in the single line. So to avoid that, we need in single line without a space, and after inner loop the line should be changed. So for that we apply that print empty statements. So here you can see it's printed like that, but we do not need that inner main. So for that we need to add some condition on where it will print and where the blank will print. Okay, so we need to find when it will print. So for the first one we need to check that I, if I to 0, or last one I equal to n minus 1, because it's a 5 number of index, so that's why. Okay, so here you can see, and else we need to print a space. So like that we can print a space. There's there should be a call So here you can see in first and last is printing, but inner loop uh, is not printing these elements. So we need to print these elements. For that, we can apply here conditions or j less than 1. So here you can see it's printing this one, and we can also apply that condition j equal to last one, which is n minus 1. Okay, so like that we can achieve that. How we can print that hologram? Okay, let's see the next question to print that. So we need to print some other question like number triangle pattern. So to analyze that pattern, first we need to check how we are going to solve that pattern. So here you can see there is a space which is a 5 space and then numbers. Here you can see there is a 4 space, 3 space, 2 space and 1 space, and last is not printing any space. So first we need to print a space and then we need to print that. So let's solve that. There is also a n equal to 6 for I in range 1 n plus 1. Okay, and we need to print that space. So for j in range 1, and it will start from 1, and so I'm starting 1 and 1 plus because it's exclude the last index. So when we print, first let me print that how it is printing that. So here you can see it's printing 1 to 6, but when we remove that it will print only 5. So that's why we need to print. Okay, and then for j in range 1 plus n plus 1, so it will print n number of times, and then the I should be also decrease. Okay, so suppose n number of times minus I, and should print, suppose we need to print the star. Okay, so here I missed that. So here you can see it's printing that okay, let me change the line, and okay, so like that. So here you can see it's should we start from 5 star. So for that we can add one numbers here. So like that, here you can see it's just, so it will be a space. Okay, let's solve the next how we can print these numbers. So first it should be print 1 and 2. It means how many, so there should be print I, which is I works like vertical, and when we j is horizontal one. Okay, so let's print that for k in range. It's also start from 1 because we need to print 1, 2, and it should start from uh, so we need to print one numbers first time, so I plus 1. So first time it will print one numbers, then it will becomes 2, and then print that. So let's print I, because we need to print I, and we need a space because here is a space, you can see. Okay, so like that we can do. So this is the output of that pattern. So how let's see other questions to solve that pattern. Okay, let's see that some number increasing pyramid. Okay, so to avoid that conflict, let's comment above one and let's print this one. So here you can see there is very simple programs. We do not need to print any space. So just we need to uh, it's a horizontal one. That's why its increasing value is J1, which is called inner loop. So for I in range, and it's also should start from n and n plus 1. Oh, sorry, and we need to define n equal to 6, and then for j in range, it should start from and how many numbers. So it should also print if I is 1, then 1 times, 2 times, 3 times. So it depends on the how many times upper loop executed. Okay, so let's print that j. So it will print like that. Okay, so let's execute. We can also execute that Python programs like Python and that pattern. First we need to save that because pattern.py. Here you can see this is the output we are expecting. So it was a very simple programs. Let's understand another programs like it is also a simple reverse order programs, same one. So let's comment above one and n equal to 6, and we here we also do not need any space, so we can start, and it is a starting. So inner element should be print, but it is a decreasing value. So for the decreasing value we need to add some conditions here. So first we need to execute n times that loops. I in range, it should start from n, then n plus 1, and for j it should start from n, and it should decrease. So n, so suppose n minus I print j. So just demonstrating how we can print. and how we can improve that programs. So first print and then we will improve that. So here you can see it's a starting from, but it's not going on the sixth element. So for that we can add here 2. So it will start. Okay, here you can see that that is we are expecting, and we can let's solve one more questions. So that will be a 5 number of questions. Okay, so there is a number changing points. So let's say how it's working. So here you can see if one times it execute, two times, three times, four times, five times, and six times. So n is 6. And here you can see the number is changing and remembering that last time what is executed. So we need a number to count that number. What is first we need to start from 1 and then we need to increase that. Okay, so for I, it is also very simple, but if it depends on how we look the prompts. Okay, and it's also should start from n, and or it's we can execute n times, so like that we can print. And for j in range, it should be we start from should start from 0 to I. Okay, so basically it's execute for the ith time. So if there is a, so n into, okay, and print that count. And we need to increase that count, so it will that values. Okay, and print the line changing. Let's see what is the output. So here you can see it's printing that, but it is not going to the last element, so I need to add one number, so it will add last line also. Okay, so here you can see it is printing as same we expecting. So that's all for that patterns, and I hope you learn that how we can execute that loop, range functions, how we can add some conditions, and how we using that in with the print. Okay, yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching.